Karibu and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I will be sharing with you how I create my shakshuka. This is an easy breakfast meal or brunch if you prefer, and it's quite filling, and I'm going to pair it with some boiled cassava, so stay tuned. I'm going to start off with just chopping up some onions and just basically all the vegetables. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my yucca or cassava, but we call it cassava in Zambia. And the easiest way to chop this up is cut it into a small chunk like that, and then just whack the knife through. Be careful with the knife because you don't want to cut yourself, but this is the easiest way I find to remove the outer skin of the cassava. And as you see, I just keep following the root of it. Easily just comes off with the knife, if you get what I mean. But yeah, it takes some practice, but I think it works out for me better this way. Once you have the skin out, then you just remove the film around it, as I am doing. Okay, and then grab your cassava, cut it into half, and then dice it into smaller chunks. Make sure that the pieces are almost the same size or equal, just so that as it boils they all cook at the same time. And then put your diced cassava into a small bowl. Dice the remaining cassava, and what we're going to do with this is just to rinse it in cold water, and then we shall boil it after. So the rinsing is just to remove the excess starch, and yeah. And then place it into a little small saucepan like that, and add some salt just for seasoning. I added a bit of salt and some vegetable seasoning as well. Okay, and then for the shakshuka, I'm going to be using some coconut oil. You can use whatever vegetable oil that you have. As we all know, where I live, it's a very cold place, so the coconut oil is always solid, so it's a bit difficult to remove it, but eventually we got there. Then start off by frying your onions. I absolutely love the smell of onions frying away. And then next just added some spring onions as well. You don't have to use spring onions as such, but I had all this, so I decided to use everything before they go bad. And as you can see, I've added some chilli to it, but if you don't like your food really hot, then please omit this stage. Next, I'm going to add in my chopped tomatoes. You can use canned tomatoes if you want. But I just tend to feel like when I use the fresh tomatoes, it just has a different taste. But that's entirely up to you. Next, I'll be adding some tomato puree. This stage is quite crucial as it gives the shakshuka that nice deep red color. And then I'm going to add some dried tomatoes as well. Next, I will be adding my mixed bell peppers. Give that a good mix. So shakshuka is just about layering the different vegetables together. It all depends on what sort of a base that you want it to be. And I'm going to add garlic. I love garlic, so don't mind how much garlic powder I added to it. You can use fresh garlic if you have it. And then I added some paprika. So the paprika, this is smoked paprika. It gives it that nice smoky flavor. So I really do like it in my shakshuka. Give it a good mix. And then add a bit of aromat for seasoning as well. And then I went ahead and added some kimchi to it. You don't need to add kimchi to this, but I had it in my refrigerator and I decided, well, it has to be put to good use before it goes bad. So I added the kimchi to my shakshuka. Unconventional, but hey ho, I love to mix different things together, and surprisingly when I do, they do turn out to be really good. Next, I'm going to add this pak choy. I just chopped it up into tiny pieces. Yeah, so I added some pak choy because I had pak choy in my refrigerator and it was going to go bad, so I decided just to utilize it before it was off. As you can see, the cassava is now done because it's breaking apart, and that's exactly how I want it to be. I want it to be nice and soft. And then I'm just going to drain the water. Back to our sauce. It's looking really good, so I'm going to make holes into the pan and pour in the eggs. So you can either break the eggs directly into the pot or do it into a tiny bowl like I did. That's just to make sure that there's no shells in the eggs, because you don't want the people or you eating eggshells. So this is how I do it. Next, I'm going to cover it just so that the eggs will cook through. And voila, my shakshuka is ready. I just sprinkled a bit of dill on top of my cassava. This is entirely for aesthetics really, but it also gives it that nice flavor. And here we go, shakshuka served with boiled cassava, my style, or my way rather. But yeah, so this is what we had for brunch and it was really good. I loved the punch of flavor in my shakshuka, as well as paired with the cassava. It really tasted good. So I hope you get to try it, and as usual, you don't have to use exactly what I use. Just try and be creative and throw in whatever tickles your fancy, and you can pair it with different things. You can have it with bread, but I tend not to eat a lot of bread, so that did for me. So that's it.